Hi everyone, welcome to Sikshak. I hope you guys are doing great. Today's session we are going to learn and discuss a very important challenging part of NCLEX exam is how to read the question, analyze, understand and break down the question, rephrase it in your own words. As you prepare for your NCLEX exam, it is so overwhelming that there is so many topics you have to study, so much information you need to remember. However, the key thing here is you should practice more. Practice is key to pass your NCLEX. The more you practice, the more you learn and higher chances you pass your NCLEX exam. Every question you practice is worth. Every question you face in the exam is a step to your success. Be serious and sincere while you prepare for this NCLEX exam. You're gonna reach your goal. I would strongly recommend you to make your own notes while we discuss this topic. So let's start our class today. We are going to focus on 3 points. Number 1, how to read the question. While reading the question, we are understanding the key concept of it, how to repeat it. While we are reading the second time, how we are going to analyze the question. And third, we are going to rephrase it in our own words, breaking down the question and get it correct every time we practice. So let's get started. Let's learn our strategy to practice question. First one, read the question. Second, repeat the question. You need to read the question at least 2 times to understand and analyze the question. Third, rephrase it in your own words. Let's do a practice question. The nurse is caring for a client who just returned from recovery room after undergoing abdominal surgery. The nurse would monitor for which early sign of hypovolemic shock. This is a straightforward question. So let's break down the question. So I'm going to break down the question into 2 parts. So we are caring for a client who just returned from recovery room after undergoing abdominal surgery. And the second part is the nurse would monitor for which early sign of hypovolemic shock. So this is straightforward that we are looking for the early signs of hypovolemic shock. That's how you need to rephrase the question. So if I have to rephrase this question, I'm going to think it's asking early sign of hypovolemic shock. So as simple as that. Let's look into the options. Option A, increase in blood pressure. Option B, increase in pulse rate. Option C, increase in respirations. Option D, increase in loss of consciousness. What do you think the answer is? Let's answer this question by first eliminating the options. Option A, increase in blood pressure. So early sign of hypovolemic shock, we don't see increase in blood pressure. Rather, we see decrease in blood pressure. So this option is eliminated. Option B, increase in pulse rate. Yes, we do see increase in pulse rate in early sign of hypovolemic shock. C, increase in respirations. Yes, we do see increase in respiration in hypovolemic shock. And option D, increase in loss of consciousness. This is not gonna happen because the client is returned from recovery room undergoing abdominal surgery. So he is not completely well oriented to the surroundings. So we're gonna delete this option. So we have 2 options here, increase in pulse rate, increase in respirations. So we need to choose one of this option. This is very tricky question because both of the options are right. So there is increase in pulse rate, there is increase in respiration in hypovolemic shock. What do you think? The correct option here is option B, increase in pulse rate. So a client returned from recovery room after abdominal surgery. As we rephrase the question, what is the early sign of hypovolemic shock? So the early sign of hypovolemic shock is increase in pulse rate. Option B is the right answer. This is very important to remember about early signs of hypovolemic shock, and make a note, the classic signs of hypovolemic shock are decrease in blood pressure, it's decrease, increase in pulse rate, and increase in respirations. So these are the classic signs and symptoms of hypovolemic shock. I repeat this point, guys, it's very important. The classic signs and symptoms of hypovolemic shock are decrease in blood pressure, increase in pulse rate, and increase in respirations. So you need to make a note of this. It's very important. This question comes in different ways, but you should never get confused. It's increase in pulse, increase in respiration, and decrease in blood pressure. Among these three, always the pulse rate comes first. If the question asks you early sign of hypovolemic shock, yes, both pulse rate and respirations increases, but first sign we see is pulse rate. So pulse rate is the early sign. Increase in pulse rate is the early sign and symptom of hypovolemic shock. Let's summarize our topic today. Today we learn how to read the question. We need to read at least 2 times to understand and analyze the question, breaking down the question, simplifying it, and rephrase it in your own words, in your own understanding. And while coming to the options, first eliminate the options which are not related and choose the right option. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something and it's useful for you. Subscribe to Sikshak. Make sure you share with your friends, whoever preparing for NCLEX exam. I wish you all the very best. Happy studying. I'll see you in next class.